Hello out to all you wonderful people. This is Andre the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And this one just kind of came to me, and I'm sitting here like, that's actually a pretty interesting question. So, why is it that we say that Nintendo is out of tune with the Western gamer when their stuff sells better in the West than it does in the East? Just think about that for a second. How would Nintendo be out of tune with the Western gamer in general? And I mean the general populace. I'm not talking about people that are extreme fanboys for one particular platform or whatever, but just the general casual populace. How could they be out of tune with the Western gamer? I mean, just consider the fact that, like I said, their stuff sells the best. In the U.S., Europe they have a rocky relationship with. Sometimes they'll sell well, sometimes they won't. But they generally sell way better in the Western side of the world than they do in Japan. So what makes them out of tune with the Western audience if their stuff sells well with a Western audience? I was just thinking about that. I was like, because those two statements can't fit together. I mean, even the Wii U sold better in the US than it did in Japan. I mean, probably not by much, but still. So, how does that work? How does that really work? There's no way they could be out of tune with an audience that they're selling to. Because honestly, if you're just paying attention to how things are going for them, yeah, maybe they don't make the most popular choices with people that are hardcore gamers and shit, but I'm like, Thinking about it though, what they do does sell very well to the casual market, which is the biggest market there is. So, how are they out of tune? Or is it more so that the more hardcore of the group are out of tune with Nintendo? Somebody's going to be like, why are you trying to twist it around? But it's not really twisting when you just think about it. So many people that consider themselves hardcore gamers or major gamers, I'm not talking about popularity, but it's like their main hobby. And they're deep into following things as they come out. They follow new trends, new technologies and stuff. They're looking into different platforms as they come out. Maybe it's those people that are out of tune with Nintendo. Because again, what Nintendo does works. Again, I don't always like everything they do. But I'm not going to bullcrap you. Because, yeah, there are some things that they do that I really don't like. Dropping Miiverse. I hated that I did that thought with a passion. Killing off Miitomo and not even reviving the Mii Photo, which I have brought up multiple times. I don't like that notion that they did that. I don't like that they're charging for online access when they gave it to people for free before. But even though I don't like certain things, I can understand why certain changes happened. The Miiverse thing, they ran a poll. And the poll that they ran, people that didn't even use Miiverse jumped on and said, no, we don't need it. We don't want it. Miitomo, it wasn't doing as well as it did well in the initial phase. But it started to decline. The more it declined, it was like, okay, well, we'll get rid of it. But the problem was that Mii Photo was such a great thing. And now that's gone too. Because it was part of that package. And once the whole package started to decline, they didn't look at it and say, well, this piece in particular is doing really well, so let's go ahead and use that as its own separate app. It was, okay, this whole thing isn't working well, so let's get rid of it. And I feel like Miitomo was meant to replace Miiverse, but it just didn't work out the way that they wanted it to. At least that's what I'm thinking. And for paid online, hell, people ask for that. People asked for that, assuming that it was going to change how their online infrastructure worked, which unfortunately is not necessarily the case, because they're still using the same web host for their servers, so that doesn't change anything automatically. But it's just like, let's see, like, people really don't think about it. Like, Nintendo does what they need to do. They do what they know or think will be profitable and successful for them. It's not their fault that trends work a certain way. It's just how it is. But people will blame the company, and don't take this as me defending them. It's just me looking at the situation. And with me trying to analyze everything, I'm like, could it be that the flip might just actually be the case? Because people will say, well, this isn't going to do well for Nintendo, and then it does well. Oh, this isn't going to do well for Nintendo, and then it does well. Oh, this is going to be great. It'll do extremely well, and then it doesn't. So maybe just as gamers in general, or westernized gamers, maybe we're just missing the ball on what they see. Like, yeah, Nintendo themselves have come out and said several times that they missed out on something because they just didn't catch it early enough. So, generally, what if we're just not catching what they're catching? And we're misunderstanding the direction they're going because we don't really know or understand what they see. I mean, we're always viewing stuff from a kind of locked off perspective unless you are literally deep within the gaming industry and know certain things. You're viewing from a locked off perspective. So how do we just assume that what they're doing is going to be bad when we don't know for sure? I mean, yeah, if you've gamed long enough, you probably have a little bit of intuition about certain things. But there's no immediate way to know. And this is coming from someone who does videos and talks about things, and those things just happen, not all of them, but a lot of things just happen to be right. Or very close to right. Because I can tell you right now, I literally have no insight within the gaming industry. Outside of what I can guess at and assume may come to fruition. So we could literally just be out of touch with Nintendo, assuming that they're out of touch with us. Hell, it could even be both. Nintendo could be out of touch with us, and we could be out of touch with them. But just in the long run, I'm like, why do we always assume the one-sidedness of it? It's like we can't take a moment to just look beyond our positioning and even just try to imagine what they're seeing from their end. Because, I mean, you gotta think about it. Connect and PS Move were things because of the Wii. Even though both Microsoft and Sony had the opportunity to implement motion controllers into their platforms before Nintendo did. Before Nintendo. They were given that idea was shot to them before it was shot to Nintendo. It's the same thing with Bayonetta 2. there would be no Bayonetta 2 if it wasn't for Nintendo taking it and saving it. So it's again one of those things where you gotta just kind of look at the situation for what it is. Maybe they see some stuff that we don't see in the long term. And that's how they're playing their game. And we're just looking at instant gratification, unfortunately, and not thinking ahead. I mean, at least that's where my opinions lie on this situation. I mean, again, I am not the end-all, be-all. Ugh. I'm not the end-all, be-all. End-all, be-all guru on this. My tongue kept getting stuck to the roof of my mouth for some reason. But I just think that there's more to these situations than gamers are willing to even admit to themselves. For many of us, it's black and white, even though we know that there are some shades of gray in there. But we're trying to act like it's black and white. Well, if this company doesn't do this, then they're going down the shitter. And if this company does this, yeah, they're going to win the whole industry. It's not quite how it works, but hey. So I guess and I can't say in short because this is like an 11-minute long discussion. But in the long run of things, maybe we should take a step back and kind of just put perspective into our thoughts before we have a flip out. And again, I'm not saying I don't do it because I know I do. There are times where I have said something that has been totally wrong because I didn't fully have information and I just reacted instead of stepping back and be like, oh, hold on a second. So I can't say I am absolved of this, but I just think that it happens more often than it needs to. And before people give something a chance, the first thing that we do is crap all over it and then end up feeding into it later. And it's just one of those things. It's just how things end up working. But I'm going to stop here because I think I've jabbered enough. I give you guys the opportunity to say what you would like to say, either on Anchor by giving a audio response, or on YouTube down in the comments. Thank you guys very much for listening, and keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out, everybody.